Hello, 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 everybody. This is Irina Strunina, and it's our weekly podcast, Diabetically Speaking with Smart Move 360. We meet here every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and I invite different people who I met in different networking events or maybe some other meetings, professional meetings or personal meetings to talk about how their area of expertise could help you or friend of yours, whoever needs that help, and to help them to get better control over their diagnosis and start moving towards the improvement and total, well, and better control of their diagnosis. So today I have a special friend, as I said, networking events, different meetings I attend, professional meetings. I met with Francie what, a couple weeks ago? No,
A
probably
couple
last
weeks ago.
month, right? So,
Yeah.
and we spoke with her, and I thought, I would like you to come to our podcast and talk with me so our listeners can learn from you something that may help them. So, Francie, welcome to the podcast. I am glad that you were able to find a window in your schedule and come to speak with me. And please introduce yourself. Tell us what you are doing so people will know why I thought it's a good idea.
Well, thank you, Irina. It was so nice meeting you and to be able to set this up and just to help people. My name is Francie Desmone. I'm a licensed acupuncturist. I've been practicing for over 25 years. And before that, I was a professional chef.
Hmm.
And so for me, your health, food is your foundation for everything. And so it's really important to wrangle that part. And as somebody who has struggled with their weight and keeping it down and an addiction to sugar, I really can relate to the struggles of newly diagnosed diabetics and trying to wrangle your mind around the diagnosis and how to manage your food in your life better. And so I've really
Absolutely.
spent the last 25 years finding ways to help people.
All right. Okay, so this is one of the reasons you see when people join our Facebook group Diabetes 101 for Beginners, they often enter the group with the words I got diagnosed, I didn't get much instructions, and I'm afraid to eat. I don't know what to put in my mouth. I'm afraid to get, I'm afraid to die. One thing, of course, we need to understand that diabetes is not happening overnight. And if someone got diagnosed yesterday, last week, it doesn't mean that that's when diabetes appeared in their body. This was
Right,
a slow and long time build up in most cases. Of course, there are some situations, but that are exclusions from that, but these are very rare. Most of the times, probably 99% of the times, type 2 diabetes is the result of accumulation of different, maybe wrong choices, maybe not the best preferences, not the best lifestyle. And as a result, eventually body just saying, I'm done. I give up, I need help. So let's work on this plan, how we can help our body to get back on track so we feel better, the body serves as well, and we can do a lot of things with the much, much easier and with much better results. So talking about food, uh, what did you learn in your practice? Uh, Food and people with diabetes, definitely there is nothing that could kill someone with one meal, right?
Oh, well, if you tried, you could. I guess if you ate all dessert, you could do yourself in. But My advice always is to eat protein early and often. Really start
Mm-hmm.
your day with solid protein, whether it's, a traditional breakfast of eggs and bacon or some kind of meat, and having a smaller portion of toast or potatoes,
Yeah.
because white potatoes turns to sugar right away, as does bread.
Yeah.
When I was first grappling with being gluten free
Mm-hmm.
and not wanting to give up my baked goods, I would eat bacon and eggs first and then get one nice pancake. And then that's how I could train myself to start eating always with the protein first, because then I was satisfied,
Yes.
right? Like I'd eaten the food that my body required, then I had my little treat, right? We often eat emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's easy to get the hand on the thing that makes us feel better in the short term, but then it's harder later. So if you eat, the other thing is I think it's important never to be super hungry. We
Yes.
often wait, because if we wait too long to eat
Mm-hmm.
in the morning, particularly, even if you ate just a little bit, if you wait too long, then it snowballs. And then we want to always be eating and keeping our energy up with simple carbohydrates like potatoes and bread and sugary things that act mm, like I always equate it to plumbing, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
why would your body put plaque in the arteries to
Mm-hmm.
protect itself? It's not from fats, it's from sugar, right? You know, when you eat a whole bowl of ice cream, you are on a journey
Yes.
until it runs through your system. So if you eat protein regular and often during the course of the day, you'll be less tired later and less likely to be reaching for potato chips and pretzels.
Definitely, definitely. Well, this is what it goes along with this. I just recently heard the like not scientific, but the name for this plate method is Howard plate method. When you divide the plate into halves, and the first half you load it with the salad and some vegetables and all this, right? Then
Hmm.
the second half you divide in another two halves. So we have a half and two quarters. And one quarter is the
Hmm.
protein, which is could be whatever meat and fish, right? Or if somebody is
Hmm.
vegetarian, it could be some vegetarian protein. And the second half, some maybe carbs, but also some um, fats, healthy fats, maybe nuts, cheese, olives,
Yeah.
whatever like this, and that is a healthy way to approach it. And if you need the your potatoes or some sandwich, not sandwich, some bread roll or something like that, that also could go along with the other whatever it is, and the nuts
Hmm.
and cheese and maybe piece of bread, right? So it should not be the whole entire meal.
Oh, I agree. Well, and I think that's part of why there has been such a rise of diabetes, is because we cut the oil out and
Uh-huh.
put sugar in. We need good quality fat to be satiated,
Yes.
and we often aren't satiated. So, like in that quarter, right, of carb oil area, could be a sweet potato, it could be a handful of nuts, it can be cheese, but that's like the extra
Mm-hmm.
glue to the system.
Yes.
One of a nice snack that I like is dates, whole dates,
Yes.
and walnuts, because
Mm-hmm.
it's sweet and oily and super satisfying. So you only need literally the palm of your hand, and you can go for another 2 hours. But if you eat every 2 to 3 hours, even if it's a light snack between your meals, you're never too hungry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, and and all of that, what you eat at breakfast dictates how well you sleep that night.
How
Because
come?
it's yeah, because if you're eating the protein early, you're grounded better But when
Mhm.
you eat a lot of sugar and simple carbohydrates, it amps up your sugar level, which will keep you up at night. So if you're waking up at night and having trouble falling back to sleep,
Mhm.
you need a snack,
Okay.
a handful of nuts, a half of a bar. If you're really hungry, but if you've been up for an hour and you can't go back to sleep, chances are you're hungry.
Mhm.
Depending on what you eat for dinner and how late you go to bed,
Yeah.
maybe a half of an apple with some peanut butter or
Mhm.
almond butter or something to have that, so your sugar, because if you go 8 or 12 hours without food, it's hard on your body when you're diabetic and have blood sugar issues. Now I know the fasting thing is very popular right now, but your body thinks it's starving.
Yeah.
And when you're diabetic, you can't be in that place because
Well,
you slip so fast. Now, I don't know about you all, but I'm not diabetic,
uh-huh.
but I've had low blood sugar.
Yeah.
If I wait too long to eat,
Uh-huh.
then you have the cranky part and then you get a little angry if you haven't eaten, hangry, right? For
Yes.
me, if I wait too long, I'll pass out from low
Yes.
blood
The
sugar.
low blood sugar is just as dangerous, if not
It's the
more
high
dangerous
sugar.
than the high
Yeah.
blood sugar levels. So,
Yeah, so you
yeah.
have to watch that balance of maintaining intake. Now, your afternoon snack might be enough to have, a pita full of vegetables with some
Mm-hmm.
cheese in it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying pig out all the time. I'm
Yeah,
just saying, give your system a chance. And in
absolutely.
Chinese medicine, the spleen is related to the pancreas, is related to the thyroid.
Mm-hmm.
So these three organs all deal with the digestion.
Yes,
And so if you overthink too much, if you're a super worrier, that's going to impact your ability to really digest well. So you
definitely.
don't want to drink a lot of cold fluids before you eat because it shuts down the digestive enzymes,
Mm-hmm.
right?
That's actually a good piece of advice for people because I see, I'm from European culture and we don't drink ice drinks there. Usually, the cold drink, it means that it's room temperature, given that the room temperature is not 80 degrees.
Right?
But room temperature, it still brings some, cooling down, but it's not the shock to the system when everything is kind of like freezes. Well,
Right. A lot of people like to do a cold smoothie in the morning. It's very hard on your system, first thing, to be overloaded with cold.
mm-hmm,
Your spleen, it wants to be dry, it wants things warm. Your
mm-hmm,
stomach likes things wet because it has to do the moving of the fluids. But
yes,
if you're an ice cream person, right? It
mm-hmm,
shuts down your system. It's very hard on your spleen. It's hard on your stomach. Your intestines will slow down. Those are treats to be had when you need them. I'm all about, if you have a craving, you'll eat everything before you
yes,
eat the thing.
mm-hmm,
Have the thing. Have it early, but
yes,
don't have all of it. Have half. And that way you have the craving and then you can go back to eating regular good food for you.
definitely.
And then ask yourself, like, what's happening in my life when I need to reach for the foods that I know aren't really good for me? Like the
Definitely.
emotional part of the eating.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
That's when we reach, my weight's gone up and down.
mm-hmm,
And before the pandemic, I was around 200 pounds.
mm-hmm,
And I made a promise to myself that for my knees,
mm-hmm,
that I needed to lose weight, and the ideal weight is 165.
mm-hmm.
So I was intentionally making sure I could get there for my longevity of my knees because I do like to walk.
Yes.
But what I did is I stopped buying the thing that's my greatest weakness, which is cookies.
Okay.
So I just didn't buy the box of gluten-free cookies because I'll eat them all. And I
Yes.
would eat from 8 to 11 p.m. So
Mm-hmm.
long after
Yes.
dinner time. This is why it's like you got to have the right snack in there, right?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I would just get the dark chocolate and eat like a row of dark chocolate and be satisfied. And I just
Yeah.
switched it until I was able. I actually lost over 50 pounds. I have put some back.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's, more comfortable than being too thin.
Yeah.
Um, Having that extra 10 pounds on, um, sometimes you need that for your health. But
Well, you see,
anyway,
here is the thing. The muscles, the meat is heavier than the fat. So if you have good muscle mass, it's
hmm
actually easier to move your body. It consumes more calories because all these muscles need food, need energy for their work. So you just by having a muscle mass, you burning more calories just sitting still.
yes, it's true. And I've always been really physically active, so I've been able to keep that part of it up.
Hmm.
Um, it's and for your mental health to be to exercise, it's so important, even if you can only go for 5 or 10 minutes to start, to walk, to be moving, even if it's in your chair to be stretching or
Yes.
finding, a yoga class that makes it easy.
All right. Now I have the question about the second part, what you are doing. Why did you learn the acupuncture? Why such interest and how people with diabetes can use your knowledge?
Well, that's a good question. When I graduated college, I
Hmm.
fulfilled a dream and I got on a boat and I sailed from New England to the Caribbean. And
Okay.
I lived in the islands on boats for
What kind
about
of a
three
boat?
years. Sailboats, different sailboats.
Okay.
And I always asked myself, what would I do if I sailed around the world? What
Hmm.
was the greatest need? For ladies at the time, mostly it was sewing or painting, cleaning, things like that. But
Yeah.
the deficit was in healthcare.
Hmm.
And people who live on their boats are very independent people, and like to go to places where there aren't a lot of other people.
Yes.
So that's when things go wrong.
Hmm.
And so I had this passion to figure that out for myself.
Okay.
And when I came back to the States, I took the EMT class, and then I did a lot of research on alternative medicine, and acupuncture and Chinese medicine kept coming up as the most in-depth health system that was natural and could travel well. That's how
Hmm.
I came to acupuncture. I've always had a big passion for food, um, for all the best reasons, right?
Yes.
And so, like, acupuncture became the thing. And I started school in San Diego at Pacific College of Oriental Medicine. I graduated from New England School of Acupuncture in Boston.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and historically, there are a lot of different theories of acupuncture, but it always circles back to the food and the
Hmm.
earth, which is related, right? So
Okay.
that's really, I just always wanted to help people.
Hmm.
And I just remember Albert Schweitzer said, if you can do anything, help others. And so
Okay.
through
Yeah.
my passion through food and natural health, not having to need prescription medications. Now I'm 60 and I still don't take any medications.
All right.
Um, so eating the right food matters.
Okay, so I have a very, I don't know, maybe you prepared or not prepared for this question. Is there any points on our body that we can, affect that may lower the appetite? Because this is one of the things that people a lot of times experience, like I eat, but I'm still hungry. And that's, all those medications, not all, but those new medications, they are to suppress the appetite. Is there some like natural way to help ourselves when you feel hungry and you know that you already ate enough? And can we help anyhow ourselves with that?
I've got a couple ideas. So the
Okay.
first one is just to massage your ear.
The
Just to
ear, like
massage the whole ear.
the whole
Start at the
ear.
top and go all the way around,
Uh-huh.
get the earlobe. But the ridge in the middle of your ear,
Okay.
that's digestion.
In like
So
inside the shell here.
inside the ear, yeah, the whole
Yeah.
body is represented in the ear. So that ridge
Uh-huh.
is your digestion. So the
Okay.
points that are above and below it, so that you can massage that, you can massage the whole ear, and then the front part is for cravings.
Okay. Front part?
So, yeah. So another point is this one here, known as large intestine 4. It's the command point for the face.
Okay.
So it's also for pain anywhere in the body. But if you massage the muscle there, chances are you're going to find a tender spot.
Yes.
So the large intestine channel starts on the finger. The index finger goes through the web of the hand out to the outer elbow, but it comes up the face over around the mouth and ends up on the opposite side of your nose.
So if you
So,
start with the right
yeah,
hand, the end is on the left side of your nose.
correct. So that's the large intestine channel, right? Because we go from the mouth, which is the stomach, through the esophagus to the stomach, into the small intestine to the large intestine. So these things are all really close. Now, we can't show you this one, but on your belly,
Mm-hmm.
on either side of your belly button, if you
Mm-hmm.
go out about 3 fingers, and you just keep going from your belly button out and you just keep pressing a little ways out, that's your spleen and stomach lines. They run vertically, but they're good there. So if you go above your belly button before you get to your sternum, halfway there's also another stomach point. So you can massage from your right hip up, over, and down your left hip and just make a circle, and that's the flow of your intestines. So those are three simple things to do to help distract you if you're hungry. But then I would also ask, like, have you had sweet potato to satisfy the sweet and the carb? Have you had enough oil,
Mm-hmm.
i.e., fat, that can come from butter, olive oil, cheese, nuts. I'm
Yes.
fond of chicken skin in small portions. To get that extra fat, that's what really satisfies us deeply in the end, not the sugar. And you need protein to build muscle, by the way. I forgot to say that earlier.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's, we spoke a little bit about the muscles. So yeah,
Yeah.
we do need all these three important parts. And I personally, what I've heard about dates, that dates are out of all dry fruits. I mean, the plums lately, for whatever reason, prunes, plums, become the thing that I hear everywhere, and I hear it on
Latest
YouTube
fad.
and different, shows that those 5 prunes a day they will do the magic, but they're very sweet, right?
They're very sweet.
So we have the apricots, we have the figs, the raisins, all this, cranberries, but what I heard about the dates, they are not as sweet as every other fruit.
Dried fruits. Yeah, I think so too.
They
Um,
the sugar that they have is kind of like more complex sugar, so it takes longer to process, and it has whole lot of fiber, which is also takes more energy to process the fiber that comes with that, right?
And counterbalances the sugar. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this is something the
Oh, yeah, it's very important to learn the glycemic index,
mm-hmm,
right? And for all the different foods, if pineapple
mm-hmm.
is super sweet,
Yes.
and it'll spike you very high. Now, the only time, most people should be eating pineapple is if you're trying to get pregnant because the bromelain is really helpful for that. But tropical fruits are meant to cool you off where it's hot.
Uh-huh.
And so it's just it's too sweet for us biologically. Oh, I did want to get this in. Biologically, diabetes was a strategy, a biological strategy to survive ice ages. Because
Mm,
what it happens is the muscles push the sugar out. So it's really cool that we need it, but now that we have so much sugar in our diet, it's really hard for us, right?
yes.
There's too much unnatural sugars, beyond honey and berries and stuff. So the glycemic index is really important to learn so you know what foods you can eat more of. Um, I think that's really important. And the apple is better than an orange.
Yeah. This is a good piece of trivia that I didn't hear before about the diabetes and ice age, but it makes sense. It makes sense. Like those saber tigers and the stress that we may experience from seeing the danger and body shoots the sugar into our bloodstream so we have enough energy to right away run away or fight or do something, right? But of course
Yeah.
now when we face the stress on a phone screen,
Hmm.
we stressed out, but we don't run anywhere, but the response, body's response is the same, right? It
It's
shoots
the
the
same. Yeah.
sugar
Managing
that
the stress.
stays there and really needs to be kind of like we got to know what to do with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So we were going to talk about the muscles and how important the protein is for muscles and movement. And when you have more muscle mass, you're burning faster.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Well, we are actually coming to the end of our show, and I know that we can talk about so many topics, and I really would like to maybe one day for you, if you're okay with that, to have like a cooking class in terms of cooking for, cooking, making a dinner, what to consider as a good meal, ingredient choices and how to work with them to make them most, I don't know, nutritious and least dangerous for people who have diabetes. So we will keep talking, I hope, and stay in touch.
Yes.
But for today, we unfortunately have to wrap up. So, Francie, where people can meet with you if they want to hear more from you, maybe learn more about the acupuncture, maybe see if you can help them individually, because for some people generic suggestions are not as good, but they would like to hear personalized focus. So how people can get in touch with you?
Thank you. You can go to my website, which is my name, FrancieDesmone.com. I'll be updating it again. And if you want to learn how to cook the right foods, if you want more personalized, I can do a face reading, look at your tongue. Your
Mm-hmm.
tongue reflects a lot, and then I can give you acupressure points where you can work on those yourself. I do telehealth, and I also do intentional creativity, which is a way to make your mind work for you.
Okay, so the scheduling link is on your website, right? So anybody could go there and schedule a call with you.
Yeah, you can email me, contact me, and we can set that up.
Perfect. We will post in the comment section under this interview the website address. So anybody who wants to get in touch with you, they will be able to hear that or to do that. Before we go, please stay here, and I just need to remind our listeners about few activities that we have in our Facebook group, Diabetes 101 for Beginners. So, one of the important recommendations, I would say, is paying attention to what admins are posting in our Facebook group. Because every Tuesday we have this event. It's called Telenurse Tuesday, where a registered nurse is going online and answers your questions. It's not a video session, it's a chat. It's in the group chat. You could just under this post in the comment section, post your question, and a nurse will go online, and between 7 and 8 p.m. Eastern Time, she will be answering those questions. That's on Tuesdays. On Wednesdays, every other Wednesday, not every Wednesday, but every other Wednesday, we meet in Zoom with group members, and sometimes we have health experts joining us, and we really helping each other to see if there is any ideas for specific challenge, or maybe you just need an encouragement or accountability, or you have achieved something and nobody around uh, to recognize your achievement. So this is what we are for. On Thursday, of course, we have our Diabetically Speaking with Smart Move 360. We also have this year, myself and our registered dietitian, Kim Kyle, we started doing this Diabetes 101 for caregivers. The registration link I will always post. It's monthly event. It's free, but you need to register to get a link. So again, follow the posts from admins, and you will see what is coming up. So with that, we will be wrapping up for today. Thank you, Francie, one more time for joining me here, talking about different important pieces of information that people, I think, can start using right away after just listening to this podcast. And everybody, please share. My phone is talking to me. Uh, Everybody,
Thank you, Irina. Thank you.
if you know of anyone who can use this information, share it. Go to our YouTube channel, Smart Move 360, subscribe, and see what else we had there posted in the past, because this is not the only one podcast that we have. And please use the information that is available. And again, Francie, one more time, thank you. And I'll talk to everybody next week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.